Here's a brief tour of the interior freshwater systems of the Airstream Caravelle. These are all upgraded and improved. All of the plumbing is PEX, and it is all high quality PEX that is joined with the special PEX crimping tool, which is super reliable. In the front, there's two 16-gallon tanks, which are joined by a PEX line at the bottom, so they come together. They can be drained. Down there, there's a drain line if you want to drain it out in the fall when you're prepping it. There's an inlet, which is that the big hose that comes in and evenly distributes the water pretty quickly to both. Up in the very front, there is a line that goes to a vent, so when you fill it, when water comes out there, you know that it's full. The water comes to this water pump, which is held in with rubber feet onto the floor of the Airstream, so it's very secure, but it also minimizes vibration. And then the water, the main PEX line to the camper, goes through a chase, which goes under the table. You can kind of see it as you go around. It goes under, and then it comes to the hot water tank, which is just a standard RV hot water tank, a 6-gallon Atwood gas LPG tank. And this is where the water comes in. There's a bypass system for the winter. This is under the bunk bed. But it's easily accessed. There's a bypass system for the winter, which lets you bypass the hot water heater for winterization. And over there on the wall is the freshwater inlet. If you hook the Airstream directly up to a hose and just use fresh water at a campsite, the main water line and the hot water line go under the floor in the insulated space over to the main bay where they're distributed under the sink. So in the sink here, you have the fresh water and the cool water and hot water that come up to a nice faucet. Distributes hot and cold water, and it has a nice sprayer that comes out to let you spray wherever you want. It's great for cleaning. And then in the drain system, there's a HEPO valve, which is really the RV standard now, which is an airless valve that doesn't let gases come out, but it also doesn't have to be vented. And so that doesn't have any parts that can freeze. So it's a really good advantage. That goes down to the gray tank. And then in the bathroom, the hot and cold water come under the bathroom sink up to the faucet in the bathroom, which is hot and cold water. And then there's a diverting valve here, which runs to the shower head in the bathroom. And so there's about a 6 foot of clearance underneath this shower head. I'm 6'2", so I have to hunch just a bit when I take a shower, but it's quite comfortable in the shower. And then this sink is also drained by a HEPO valve. And then in the floor of the shower, there's a drain that has a HEPO valve down to the 42-gallon gray tank. The gray tanks are all vented through a line here and through a big hose that goes up to the roof so that you don't get any smell on the camper. It's good to use a little bit of the treatment stuff that keeps it from smelling, but we keep our gray tank very clean so that it doesn't have, so that we can dump it if we had a place. We could dump it outside, but we don't ever really do that very often. So that is the interior freshwater system. The toilet is separate completely from the inlet water, in that there is no water needed to use the toilet. The only place that it is involved is that the urine goes through this urine diverter, which is here. So number one goes down into this hole, it goes into there, and then also has a HEPO valve to minimize odor into the gray tank. After you go number one, we always squirt a little bit of soapy water solution down into the urine diverting space to keep any odors down and to make sure that all the urine is purged down into the gray tank so that there's no odor problems in the gray tank. The gray tank is also, or the composting toilet is also vented continuously through this small fan that is always running. It's a very low amperage fan. I can't even detect the usage because with the solar panels we never even see any drain, but that is always running 24/7. Super easy to replace. It's just a little computer fan, just 4 screws if you ever needed to replace it. It's been there for 5 years, we've never replaced it. And that also is fed up to the vent, and that keeps the odors in the gray tank and the composting toilet to a minimum.